This is how attention actually works, not as consciousness, not as caring, not as the machine pausing, looking out a rain-streaked window, and deciding which part of your sentence deserves its full emotional presence. Attention is math, very effective math. The job of attention is to help each token figure out which other tokens matter to it right now. That is the center of it. When a sentence enters the model, it gets broken into tokens, turned into vectors, and passed into the transformer. Then attention goes to work. For each token, the model creates three derived versions of its representation: a query, a key, and a value. Naturally, we gave the most important mechanism in modern AI the naming scheme of a hotel key rack. Here is the idea. The query is what the token is looking for. The key is what each token says it contains. The value is the information it can contribute if selected. So one token sends out a query: what in this sequence matters to me? The model compares that query against the keys of other tokens. If the match is strong, that token gets more attention. If the match is weak, it matters less. That comparison produces attention scores. Those scores are then normalized so they become weights, and those weights determine how much of each token's value gets mixed into the current token's updated representation. That is attention. Each token looks around the room, decides who matters, and absorbs information accordingly. Now the token no longer represents only itself. It represents itself in context. That is the breakthrough, because language is full of dependencies. The bank might mean money or the side of a river. It might refer to something 10 words back. A sentence may hinge on a word buried near the beginning. Without some way of tracking those relationships, the model is just shuffling symbols through a bureaucratic fog. Attention cuts through that. It lets tokens directly weigh other tokens instead of dragging meaning one miserable step at a time through the whole sequence. And this happens everywhere, not just once. Every layer has attention, often multiple attention heads at once. That is called multi-head attention. It means the model can learn different kinds of relationships in parallel. One head may focus on syntax, another on reference, another on long-range dependencies, another on the subtle warning signs that the paragraph is about to become unbearable. Multiple heads, multiple patterns, multiple ways of asking, what matters here? This is also why attention scales hard. For standard self-attention, each token can compare itself to every other token in the context. That is powerful. It is also expensive. As the sequence gets longer, the amount of comparison grows fast, which is one reason long context is both useful and a little financially theatrical. Now, important distinction. Attention does not mean the model understands the way humans understand. It means the model has a mechanism for dynamically weighting relationships inside the input. That is enough to produce astonishingly good behavior and enough to confuse half the species. So, how does attention actually work? Each token is turned into a query, key, and value. The query is compared against other tokens' keys to produce attention scores. Those scores decide how much of each token's value gets mixed into the current token's representation. That lets the model figure out which parts of the sequence matter most for interpreting and generating language. Attention is not awareness, it is selective information flow. A way for every token to ask the rest of the room, which of you matters to me now? And in modern AI, that question is doing a shocking amount of work.